has like the capacity to heal, which we have capacities to heal.
Sure.
We just don't normally access it. We're not educated enough, I would say,
Sure.
to have the body heal itself.
Or maybe we're like intentionally not educated about it, because then it would give us the power to be able to do this and
To
not
heal
necessarily
ourselves. Yes.
rely on outside
Absolutely.
authorities.
Absolutely. And this is something that I really love about this. It's like the session gives you the power back to see that you have abilities, you have healing energy, you have like the capacity to move from even other timelines that can generate any trauma, including these timelines that generate trauma, like anything that requires for you to observe, see, heal, integrate, bring forth so you can move with your life. You have the ability to do that. So never anything, no matter how bad it looks, how like traumatic, how like intense, how unfair, and all of this, and none of that happens for no reason. There is always a lesson and a reason on those experiences.
In a session and in life.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And you can heal it. That's why you chose it.
Right.
Because you can heal it.
Right.
But otherwise it wouldn't have happened. There is no coincidence or bad lucks or any of those things. It's all like very, very divinely orchestrated.
Yeah. It's interesting because we both said afterwards how much we like. It's not. There's no divination in any of it. You're not. It's just you with you, with you, but with not with you.
Did you follow?
Right? It's just there really is this like self healing that's happening differently even than it would happen in a session with me, where many people tend to think that I've done something, even though intentionally I step out of myself and step into a nothingness of just sort of being a channel for energy.
Yeah.
But people tend, because I'm still in my physical body, they tend to think that I've done something, but very differently than what you did. You were just like, well, what about now? And what's happening next? And what's happening next? And then, okay, here's a list of questions that you wrote down with your own energy. And now can you answer those questions your damn self? And it feels like something that comes from a different source, a different part of yourself, you know?
Yeah.
So
because I mean it's very interesting because it feels like it's a different part, or a part that is like outside of ourselves or in a different place, but it's actually consciousness.
As I was answering, I was even like, talking about myself, but talking about myself in a third person. She's this and she that, and I'm like, at what point did I start talking about myself as if I'm not myself, and if I'm not I knew that I was me, but I was a smaller me that I was referring to. So
the little me.
Yeah.
Totally, as I call it, little me.
Yeah, exactly. And little me is like an interesting thing too, because when we talk about reparenting ourselves, it's the same concept, right? You talk about little you, the small child you that needed to like receive love or be heard or whatever it is that you didn't get as a child, and then you talk to little you, and it's the same kind of energy, which is really cool.
It's really, really cool.
Yeah.
And then that in a sort of like the energy creates that expansion and that integration at the same time at the end. Like even though in the process of answering feels like third person, higher self speaking about Jana, in this case, what Jana does, how Jana thinks, how Jana operates on this reality. You know, at the end, all of that, it's like when we close it, it gets integrated. So never does it feel a sense of like separation, but a sense of like, wow, this is me. Like this is really who I am, who I get to experience myself in a much more wider capacity.